Good evening, good evening, good evening. Hello, welcome along to some more rFactor 2. rFactor 2 Thursday is still a thing. At the Overtake.gg Racing Club. Tonight we're heading for New Zealand for a triple header. 3 races of 15 minutes each at Pukekohe Park. It's gonna be fun. I do wish we had more drivers though, because we currently only have 6. There were a few more signed up earlier today, but real life has come in the way, so we are down to 6. But it only takes 2 to have a fun race, so I think it'll be fun anyway. And as you can see from the, as you could see from the preview picture, I am in the Ford Mondeo, the fittingly liveried the Ford Falcon V8 supercar livery. I do, sorry, I do wish that it was the Pukekohe of old that we're racing, with the straight going on all the way into the hairpin instead of into the chicane that I'm about to overshoot. Nope, made it. But yeah, the old circuit went just straight on here into the hairpin, making this a bit more of an overtake spot than it is now. With that being said, I think they've stopped racing at Pukekohe all in all now, because of the horse riding center that is both on the infield of the circuit and on the outside of it. I was a bit too careful on the brakes. The good thing is that it's a fairly short circuit, so it is relatively easy to learn. No, wanted a bit too much on the exit. Same on this exit. This last corner here is quite tricky because you can't really go completely flat, but you have to be somewhat close to it. Tire wear is going to be a thing here, because that was 3.5 laps and I'm already down to 93% on the front left. Okay, so Dan is about a second faster than anybody else, but it is fairly close, well, especially between Steve, Malcolm, Eve and me. And Pat ain't that far behind either, so I think this is gonna be fun. And Eve, as ever, with the supercars monster livery on his BMW. So I think we're about ready to do qualifying. Or at least the time says that it's time for qualifying. I was about to start typing, but everybody's here on Discord, so I don't bother. Right, so it should be a super pole session then. Yeah. That is what I have requested anyway. Well, it's 4 minutes, so it should be a super pole then. Yep, yes it is. I do like the symmetry with a front wheel drive, rear wheel drive, front wheel drive, rear wheel drive, front wheel drive, rear wheel drive. Alternating. Right, I'm gonna throw off my sweater before I start driving. Now, do I bother take any fuel out of the car? Yeah, let's remove some fuel. That'll be fine. That'll be fine. It uses slightly over a liter per lap, so... in many ways it would have been enough with 3 liters. That is a tricky braking zone. do remember in the old World Touring Masters Championship in rFactor 1, we were driving this truck with the old Group A cars, like the Holden Commodore, the Ford Sierra, the Ford Sierra Cosworth, the BMW M3 E30 and the 635 and such. Mercedes 190. Those were some fun races. Nowhere near hitting the apex. Yeah, that was a good lap. That was surprisingly well. Yeah, I think that Dan might lap us in this race. Yeah, no, I do like that it's pretty close between us anyway. That usually makes for fun races. Yeah. But I do see that the tire wear on the front left is gonna be a thing. Yeah, no, the thing is, I want to move the brake balance further back to kind of not lock up the left front, but if I do move the brake balance back, then I'm gonna just swap ends in the first braking zone. Because I'm really untidy and unsettled there as it is. It's more of a question, how many cars do I bring with me when I go bowling in there? it was slightly overpowered in that mod as well, as it was in real life. Right, so 15-minute race. So the tire, yeah, it is. So the tire degradation shouldn't be that much of an issue. I hope. Yeah. Yeah. It is a bit scary standing on the start line and having all the BMWs behind me. Yep, good luck. Have fun. That was a short hold. That was a start that I needed, that's for sure. Ah, come on. Oh, somebody's off. Might have been Pat. Oh. Balancing act through the first corner. It's fairly easy to see that Dan is quicker than I am. completely the wrong line. But at the same time, oh, Malcolm is off. Hi Hugo, welcome along. Well, I'm holding on to the lead for now. But it's just a question of time before Dan is coming past me. Because Dan has been the fastest guy through all practice and qualifying so far this evening. But I did have, ooh, that was almost a cut. But I did have another one of those super starts that I often have. I qualified as second, so and everybody else has been involved in some shenanigans one way or another behind me, so oh, look at the exit speed. Is he gonna try? No, he's not. Backed out of it. I was too late on the brakes. I was too late on the brakes then, you were even later. Good save though. I didn't look at the road at all through that chicane. Well, that can't have done his tires any good. It has brought Steve a bit closer behind there as well. Now I was gonna say, in qualifying, Dan was over a second quicker than me, but then it was 6/10 from me down to Pat, who was at the back. Or at least I think it was Pat who was the rearmost car in qualifying. So was pretty close. Hi down there, welcome along. Yeah, I think it was like 1.7 or 1.8 seconds between first and last in qualifying. I'm driving pretty much equal to Steve, but Dan is slightly faster. Because he has gapped Steve again, and he's closer to me, it feels like. Oh, now it's my turn. Okay, this was a bit tighter than I actually expected. Oh, come on. I think that's enough. That was absolutely perfect. I ran out of fuel as I crossed the finish line. Thanks. Yeah, no, I need to add 1 more liter for next race. Yeah. Because I was lifting quite a bit on that last lap. Thanks. Yeah. I'll just move us into practice for now, and then we'll jump into qualifying once Steve is back. Now, I am a bit tempted to change car for race 2, but I'll leave that for race 3 instead, I think. I do like Eve's livery. That is a cool car. And yes, it is a black car with stickers on it, but it's a good looking car. Pat was in the Jägermeister livery. And Malcolm in the factory Vauxhall colors. Yeah, it is a timeless livery in the Jägermeister one. I do have that livery for well, a sort of livery like this for the E36 in RBR, but then it's cough syrup instead of Jägermeister. Oh, shut up, Hugo. So, is he back yet? Ah, you. Yeah, okay, yeah, nice. Good. Well, let's move into qualifying again then. See if anybody can snatch pole position from Dan. Yeah. Well, yeah, yeah. Both you and Steve were quite close behind me on that fastest lap too. So, yeah. But now in qualifying, then that means that I'm going to do a 1:11. Because I was faster in the fastest lap in the race than I was in qualifying. But then again, the nature of the one-shot qualifying is... it means that if you do a mistake, then you're starting further back. Not that I think that it'll matter that much in a 6-car race, but still. It'll always be easier if you're on the front row. Yeah, okay. That's not going to be a valid lap time then. Yeah, I can't do that until I've got more temperature in the rear tires, that's for sure. Well, yeah, they did look at it, but given that I was stationary afterwards and actually moving in the opposite direction, they decided to not penalize me for it. But still, given that others are doing silly stuff, yeah. Yeah, well, it turns out that going backwards through the first chicane is not good enough for pole position. Wanted to carry just a little bit extra speed through turn 1, but I shouldn't have done that. Yeah, that is really good, yeah. Funnily enough, Dan was only overall fastest on the last sector. Because he's only gotten purple sector 3. Does it say here, maybe? Well, he should have purple on all 3 sectors. Well, it could be that Pat and Malcolm maybe had faster sectors on their laps that were disallowed. Possibly. Well, I'm back in a tick. Because I do need a quick toilet break. So let's go with Pat then for the time that I'm gone. I got back to see him going into the pit lane for some reason. Right, so I added 2 extra liters of fuel for this race. Yeah. It's no wonder I had the fastest lap of race 1. I didn't have any fuel in the car. It was as light as it can be. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it makes the rest of the race a bit more tricky. But I do hope that you are able to join us next week, Eve, because I'm thinking about putting up that Houston race at Sandown. So yeah, so I think that will be the combo for next week. Yeah.
Attention grid, will all non-essential personnel leave the grid now?
Alright, and then as last check, just to see that the setup is still the same, because sometimes rFactor 2 bugs and puts on the default setup, and it doesn't say until you click something, because then everything changes. But no, it looks good. And it's gonna be a bigger task now this time to make it all the way to the front in turn 1, as I did in race 1. That'll be it. Yep, good luck all. It was a short hold again. Oh. I think he even might have been close to going into the back of Dan there, which made him lose a bit of momentum. No, come on, that was too late on the brakes. So I brought the speed through the corner, but I could not get the the turn-in point and the turn-in that I wanted. And again, a little bit more on the brakes so that I can get the car turned in. So that way I can get a bit more of a run. That did not work the way I am the way I wanted it to. The pace at the front there is relentless. Lost a bit on the exit. On the mid corner rather. was a leg spike from my computer again. Which of course happens now that we're 3 cars really close together. Finally got a run. Well, I didn't expect that to work. Ooh. Yeah, I was thinking of going up the inside, but I didn't think I was far enough ahead to go through with it. It took me so many laps to catch up to, or to get by Dan. And then it was just straight by Steve on the next lap. Though with a bit of help of him outbraking himself into into the back straight chicane. Okay, brake for turn 1. Come on, man. did it again. That was a proper rally crossing in the background there. Yeah, braking for the corner, yeah. That didn't brake in the previous lap. And that made all sorts of things happen in the next braking zone. So that was a bit slower this time, but at least it was under control. Well, the crew might be ready for a pit stop, but I'm not intending on stopping. Especially not this race, where I do have plenty of fuel for going flat out on the last lap as well. Oh, did Dan go off the road again? Yeah, left front tire is really suffering. So I'm happy that we went with 3x15 instead of 2x20, like we usually do. Woohoo! That was a hard fought. Yeah. 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 All right, I'll move it back to practice if anybody wants to swap cars. Yeah, I'll stay with the Ford as well then. Well, just jump into qualifying then, I guess. Yeah, well, good luck for last qualifying then. Yeah, thanks, Hugo. I was really pleased with that race. There was something as strange as being, excuse me, as being on what should I say, on the pace to stay with the front runners without messing up at any point, which doesn't usually happen, because when I'm up there that intensely fighting and pushing all that I can, I usually will do some mistakes at some points which will cost me a lot of time. Front right during oval racing, yeah, I can imagine. Well, it was better this time through that first chicane compared to the previous qualifying, but still, that was a bit of a mess. Oh. Bloody hell, that was my fastest lap of the evening. And Dan put in a 108.0. Okay, so where is Steve? Is going across the line, 108.7. And Malcolm across the line, 108.8. Well, it seems like I found more speed now, Malcolm. Yeah. Yeah. I was so pleased doing a 108.1, but no, it wasn't enough. Yeah, that it is also strange with me being that far up in qualifying, because I'm usually not a one lap guy in terms of pace. It's usually my racecraft that is the things that bring me results. But you know, with that being said, it is fun to actually get things working. Yeah, I'll just restart the warm-up if you're not in by the time it's done. Yep. I didn't even have to finish the sentence before I popped back in. Yeah, I can imagine that, Daniel. It's well, balanced but unbalanced as well. So even pattern at the back row in their BMWs, that helps me a little bit. But then again, Steve had a really good start in race 2. So one thing is that I might have an advantage over Dan when it comes to the start. Yeah, no car change, because I realized that if I wanted to do that and get a custom livery to the car, I had to go all the way out of the server and then back in again, instead of just changing car on the server. Because I did want to go with the Vectra as well. And I'm kind of tempted kind of tempted to drive the BMW as well. I might have a look into that for the next Super Touring race in about a month or so. Yeah, I think the Super Touring races that I've won most of them has actually been with the Mondeo, like the one at Suhai, in which I won both the races we did there, and I won both races tonight as well, actually. So the Mondeo might be the lucky charm here. Right, so back up onto 19 liters, and we're all set for racing. Yeah, there is no one in the Volvo S40 this evening, but there is an S40 available in the free of the free cars, because the guy who has made these cars also has a lot of cars on Patreon. Like both the 850s, the Estate and the Sedan. And he has the Audi A4, the Renault Laguna, the Honda Accord. So there are some more cars available there. And there are some more of the free cars as well that isn't here. We don't have the Primera. We don't have the two Peugeots, the 405 and the 406, because both of those are also available. Oops, sorry. Of the free cars. Yep, good luck. Have fun. I felt like I was a bit too much revs at light. But that worked out to perfection. I was too late. Somehow still managed to hold on. Ah, well, yeah. The gap was bigger to Dan behind me than I thought it was going into the into the braking zone there. Oh. No. No. That was a bit... Again, trying to carry a bit too much speed. At the wrong place. Ooh. Whoops. Yeah, I can imagine. Oh, hi Tadia, welcome along. So now it's going to be a bit of an uphill battle, because Dan is hard to catch back up to. Almost did it again. Almost did it again. Of course, the computer freezes doesn't help me either. And it's only rFactor 2 where this happens. Never happened in Avenue or any of the other games that I play. Yeah. Just give them some time to fine-tune the details. Yeah, I've understood that it can be a bit of a finicky game to get running properly. Idea, but I've never had that problem with it. I've just installed it and it just runs. I might have been lucky. Oh, Dan has done a 107.8. I do feel like I've eaten a bit into his gap. That's a shame. Yeah, because it is a really nice game to drive. And I do very much prefer this over Assetto Corsa, for instance. doesn't feel like I've been catching up anything to Dan over the last couple of laps now. Yeah. Yeah, the BTCC cars are really fun. I'll bring them back into the RF2 club during the year. Ooh. Damn it, that was 1/10 too slow. Because I want to try to mirror the real life BTCC season this year. If we can get enough drivers to join, of course. Oops. Yeah, race room is also really nice. We used to have a racing club for that at the race department. So I particularly enjoyed the DTM cars. That was a bit deep. Yeah, and then I was late in this one. Yeah, I think we have pretty much all of the real life circuits. Most of them are in the DLC that follow the BTCC cars. Again, got it a bit wrong in the second half of that chicane. So 2 more laps done. Whoa. That was undoing all the good work that I've done. That's annoying. Slightly on the wrong foot. Yeah, that's not the way indeed. No, I'm not going to be close enough, I think, towards the end of the lap. Oh wow. Awesome work again, Dan. Tried my very best, but I just couldn't get close enough. Yeah. Yeah, see you later. Yeah, see you later, Eve. Yeah, so I need to have a look at that Houston race then for next week. Looks a bit like a Mustang in a way, doesn't it? Or yeah, the Houston Dissenter 1974. Yeah, now if you go back to the thread last week, Eve has posted both the car and the track in there actually. Yeah, thanks for tuning in, Tarja. Too bad that you didn't get there in time to see the wins, but still. That will be it for tonight, though. We'll probably do some rallying in the weekend. But I don't know what and everything yet, so I'll see what I'll do when I do it. But thank you so much for tuning in tonight. It's been nice having you all along for the ride. Do enjoy whatever is left of your Thursday, and I'll catch you all later. So take care then, and goodbye.